Welcome to our series, Fine Poetry, Poems that Touch Deeper Chords. Today, Robert Frost, 1874 to 1963. Introduction. Robert Lee Frost was an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in America. He is highly regarded for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech. His work frequently employed settings from rural life in New England in the early 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. One of the most popular and critically respected American poets of the 20th century, Frost was honored frequently during his lifetime, receiving 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. He became one of America's rare public literary figures, almost an artistic institution. He was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal in 1960 for his poetic works. On July 22, 1961, Frost was named Poet Laureate of Vermont. In 1960, Frost was awarded a United States Congressional Gold Medal, quote, in recognition of his poetry, which has enriched the culture of the United States and the philosophy of the world, end quote, which was finally bestowed by President Kennedy in March 1962. Also in 1962, he was awarded the Edward MacDowell Medal for outstanding contribution to the arts by the MacDowell Colony. Frost was 86 when he read his well-known poem, The Gift, outright at the inauguration of President John F. Kennedy on January 20th, 1961. The poet-critic Randall Jarrell often praised Frost's poetry and wrote, Robert Frost, along with Stevens and Eliot, seems to me the greatest of the American poets of this century. Frost's virtues are extraordinary. No other living poet has written so well about the actions of ordinary men. His wonderful dramatic monologues or dramatic scenes come out of a knowledge of people that few poets have had. And they are written in a verse that uses, sometimes with absolute mastery, the rhythms of actual speech. He also praised Frost's seriousness and honesty, stating that Frost was particularly skilled at representing a wide range of human experience in his poems. Jarrell's notable and influential essays on Frost include the essays Robert Frost's Home Burial, which consisted of an extended, close reading of that particular poem, and To the Laodiceans, in which Jarrell defended Frost against critics who had accused Frost of being too traditional and out of touch with modern or modernist poetry. For those interested in more biographical data, we recommend the article in Wikipedia. The gift outright. The land was ours before we were the land's. She was our land more than 100 years before we were her people. She was ours in Massachusetts, in Virginia, but we were England's, still colonials, possessing what we still were unpossessed by, possessed by what we now no more possessed. Something we were. Withholding made us weak, until we found that it was ourselves we were withholding from our land of living, and forthwith found salvation in surrender. Such as we were, we gave ourselves outright. The deed of gift was many deeds of war. To the land, vaguely realizing westward, but still unstoried, artless, unenhanced, such as she was, such as she would become. Neither out far nor in deep. The people along the sand all turn and look one way. They turn their back on the land. They look at the sea all day. As long as it takes to pass, a ship keeps raising its hull. The wetter ground, like glass, reflects a standing gull. The land may vary more, but wherever the truth may be, the water comes ashore, and people look at the sea. They cannot look out far. They cannot look in deep. But when was that ever a bar to any watch they keep? From birches, I'd like to get away from the earth a while, and then come back to it and begin over. May no fate willfully misunderstand me, and half grant what I wish, and snatch me away, not to return. Earth's the right place for love. I don't know where it's likely to go better. I'd like to go by climbing a birch tree and climb black branches up a snow-white trunk toward heaven till the tree could bear no more, but dipped its top and set me down again. That would be good, both going and coming back. One could do worse than be a swinger of birches.